Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans and you're watching the John Cedars channel from the bunker, and in this video I'm going to be listening to another voicemail. Today's voicemail is from Dave. Let's hear what Dave has to say.
Hey Lloyd, I'm an ex-JW. I left the organization about 3.5 years ago. Been watching your material, I wouldn't say regularly, semi-regularly, since then, more so recently. Let me just get to the point of this voicemail and to the question. I have no intention of going back. That's not the reason behind this. But I do sometimes wonder, not with respects to is quote unquote the truth, but more about does the way of life that a Jehovah's Witness leads, is that in itself a decent enough reason to remain one in case you are one, or to become one? And then let's say, let's broaden out the subject. Let's imagine maybe being a witness, not worth it when you're considering, issues with blood and other problems with the organization that both you and I are privy to. Talking about Bible principles, like for example, I'm agnostic now, but I do believe that there are several Bible principles that are quite productive to apply in your life. Loving your neighbor, be honest, work hard, etc. And I find it hard to dispute someone that would tell me that following Bible principles would lead you to the best possible life that one person could have. I'd just like to hear your thoughts on the matter. And, if you had a chance to speak to someone that you care about that is a witness, and they were to tell you, even if the truth is not the truth, I would still want to remain a witness because it provides me with a way of life that is worthy living, with purpose and, community, family life, if they have a good family, which in case, the family I grew up in was actually a really good family. Never had any issues. Yes, communication now is very much strained, but I actually respect a lot of my parents about that. Even though, of course, we don't talk almost at all anymore, but they do show care of me, if I'm sick or if, anything like that. So, yeah, just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you for calling into the channel. Thank you for your question. I wouldn't have played your question if I didn't think that while I can't personally relate to it for reasons I'm going to explain, it won't at least be relatable to some who are perhaps watching this video. What about the way of life of Jehovah's Witnesses, the quote-unquote best life ever? Even if the religion isn't true, maybe it's worthwhile having a dabble just so that you can avail yourself of the way of life, which is so fulfilling and enjoyable and meaningful, some may feel. I think that if you are at the point as a Jehovah's Witness, I realize you're not a Jehovah's Witness, but I think when a Jehovah's Witness says that, in other words, when they say, even if it weren't the truth, it's still the best way of life, if they can get themselves to that point, it's very telling, don't you think? It's almost like they're admitting that it's not true, or at least might not be true. And this, for me, at least for me, is what it's all about. Is it true or is it not true? I'm not choosing a coffee at Starbucks. I'm not deciding what my best Bond film is. It's not a case of choosing which one's the best, or which one gives me the nicest way of life. It's about whether it's true. This is religion that we're talking about here. It's not a selection on iMovies. It's literally deciding which offers the most accurate explanation for the universe and for the origin of man and for the future of humanity. That's not something that you, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's either true or it's not true. And yes, as it happens, I would disagree with the statement that it is a good way of life. I don't think it is. Because obviously it's for each Jehovah's Witness to decide for themselves if they want to continue on in the Jehovah's Witness religion, despite what they've heard on this channel and despite what they've read elsewhere. That's a personal decision for everyone to make. But speaking for myself personally, the issue of truth is central. Because if it's not true, then my way of life as a Jehovah's Witness will involve lying to people. It will involve literally going out in my community, knocking on the doors of strangers, when there isn't a pandemic, of course, and telling them, your religion's wrong, my religion, way of life, is right. So you need to stop what you're doing and join my religion. You need to go around your community lying to people. That's the way of life of a Jehovah's Witness. The way of life of a Jehovah's Witness parent is to lie to their children. Because again, if it's not true, which is the whole premise of this discussion, if it's not true, and you're a parent and you have children, you have to lie to them. That's not a good way of life, at least not for me. I don't want to lie to my children. I'm sure as hell not going to tell them, oh, the universe is like this, and Jehovah created everything, and Jehovah invisibly chose this bunch of dudes in 1919, and we all need to follow. No way. I'm not going to fill their minds with that. If it's not true, don't go telling it to kids, and don't go out into your community and insist that people join your way of life that isn't true. And that's before we even get to the whole thing of the best life ever becoming no life at all very quickly if a blood transfusion's needed. Because this way of life is apparently more important than life itself, according to the Jehovah's Witness religion. I cover all this in a previous video, which I realise I uploaded a long time ago, so I'm not expecting you to have watched it, or indeed many of my viewers to have watched it, but I've essentially summarised just now what I say in that video. So if I've missed anything, probably it's in the original video. You extend your question to the Bible. What if there's profound wisdom in the Bible that we should all live by? I'm sure there is at least some wisdom in the Bible. I've given the example on my channel of the parable of the Good Samaritan. I think that's one of the most beautiful passages in the Bible. There's one or two other passages as well. There's the words in, is it Thessalonians, whatever things are true, whatever things are righteous, whatever things are of serious concern, stay by these things. That's a principle I can live by, definitely. But when the Bible is right, when the Bible gets it right by accident. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, as I've said before. And what you have with the Bible is for every true thing that's said, or for every morally beneficial or upright thing that you can find in the Bible, you can find two or three that are seriously messed up. And I've made 2 videos on this subject at least. One about the Old Testament, one about the New Testament, where there's all sorts of messed up ideas that I, for one, do not want to live by. So, similar to your question about Jehovah's Witnesses, if there are things in the Bible that you like, take them, live by them. No one's stopping you from saying, yes, I agree with that and that's how I'm going to live my life. But most people who read the Bible to the point of advocating it as a moral compass, it goes beyond simply, oh, isn't this a useful verse to live by? Or isn't this an interesting proverb? What they tend to suggest or tend to insist on is that this is the perfect, infallible word of God. Okay, the Bible can be right on one or two things, and it's down to us to essentially cherry pick as to which verses we're going to find useful. But don't you come to me and say that the Bible is a moral guide for me in the 21st century when it's advocating for gay people to be executed. Sorry. Not the way I live my life, not my way of life to go around executing gay people. Thanks all the same. Not my way of life to go around subjugating women, to go around committing genocide, to be supportive and endorsing of slavery. No, none of that's really my thing, actually. That's not my way of life. And actually, if God did write about those things and endorse those things, then I'm not really interested in worshipping a God like that. So that's my atheism. But you did ask about the Bible, didn't you? So that's how I would answer your question. I'm not sure whether you found this a useful answer, whether it's something you could agree with, but that's my position. And yeah, hopefully my answer will be helpful to others. But that's all I have for you in this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the John Cedars channel for more such videos. And as always, thank you for watching.